ഹലോ ഗായ്സ്, വെൽക്കം ടു സ്റ്റഡീസ് ഫോർ ലേണിംഗ്. ഈ ഒരു വീഡിയോയിൽ നമ്മൾ കാലിക്കറ്റ് യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റിയുടെ തേർഡ് സെമ്മിലെ VAC ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഫസ്റ്റ് ചാപ്റ്ററായ വാങ്കാരി മതായിയുടെ നോബൽ പീസ് പ്രൈസ് അക്സെപ്റ്റൻസ് സ്പീച്ചിലെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻഡ് ആൻസേഴ്സ് ആണ് നോക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു വീഡിയോയിൽ നമ്മൾ ഡീറ്റെയിൽഡ് ആയിട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ മീനിങ്സ് ഒന്നും പറയുന്നില്ല, ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനും ആൻസറും മാത്രമേ ഒന്ന് നോക്കി പോവുക മാത്രമേ ചെയ്യുന്നുള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് വീഡിയോയിലേക്ക് കടക്കാം. ഫസ്റ്റ് ഷോർട്ട് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ആണ്. ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ: What was Wangari Maathai's main message in her Nobel Prize acceptance speech? Answer: Wangari Maathai's main message was that environmental protection is the foundation of peace and sustainable development. Second question: How did Wangari Maathai link environmental conservation to peace and democracy in her speech? Answer: Wangari Maathai explained that peace cannot exist without environmental security and good governance. Third question: What did Wangari Maathai emphasize as crucial for addressing global challenges? Answer: She emphasized that a sense of responsibility, collective action, and moral courage are crucial for solving global challenges. Next, fourth question: According to Wangari Maathai, what is necessary for sustainable development? According to her, respect for the environment, good governance, and the participation of people, especially women, are necessary for sustainable development. Next, fifth question: What is the merit of having a feeling that we belong to a larger family? Maathai said that when people realize they belong to a larger family, the human family, they develop compassion and responsibility. Sixth question: What, according to Wangari Maathai, is the challenge of our generation? According to Wangari Maathai, the greatest challenge of our generation is to restore the environment and protect the earth for future generation. Next, short essay questions ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ സെവൻത്ത് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നോക്കാം. What is the role of biodiversity in maintaining environmental balance? അതിൻ്റെ ആൻസർ നോക്കാം. In her Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech, Wangari Maathai emphasized that the protection of biodiversity is essential for the survival of life on Earth. She explained that the destruction of forests, the natural habitats, leads to loss of biodiversity, which weakens ecosystems and reduces their ability to support human life. Forests, trees, rivers, and animals are all connected, and each plays an important role in maintaining environmental balance. When forests are cleared, soil erosion increases, water sources dry up, and climate patterns change, threatening both people and nature. Maathai believed that restoring biodiversity through tree planting could help heal the earth. Her Green Belt movement encouraged people, especially women, to plant trees to restore degraded land and bring back ecological balance. These trees not only provided food, firewood, and income, but also restored natural habitats for birds and animals. Through her efforts, Maathai showed that biodiversity conservation is not just about protecting species. It is about ensuring peace, stability, and a healthy environment for all living beings. Next, eighth question ആണ്. How does degradation of the environment trigger poverty and conflict? Wangari Maathai, in her Nobel Peace Prize speech, clearly pointed out that environmental degradation is one of the root causes of poverty and conflict. When forests are destroyed and land becomes barren, people lose access to basic needs such as food, water, and firewood. This scarcity increases human suffering and deepens poverty, especially among rural communities who depend directly on natural resources. Maathai observed that when the environment is damaged, people become desperate and may even turn against each other to control what little is left. She gave examples from Africa, where competition over limited resources has led to conflicts and social unrest. Maathai believed that environmental protection and peace are closely linked. There can be no peace without sustainable management of natural resources. By restoring the environment through tree planting and conservation, she aimed to reduce poverty and prevent conflicts. Her message was clear: caring for the earth is also a way to promote justice, equality, and lasting peace. Next, ninth question: explain the term sustainable development. Wangari Maathai's speech reflected the true meaning of sustainable development. Development that meets the needs of the present without destroying the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. She criticized the misuse of natural resources caused by greed and poor governance, which resulted in deforestation, pollution, and climate change. According to Maathai, true development should protect the environment, uplift communities, and promote fairness. Economic progress should not come at the cost of the Earth's health. Through her Greenbelt movement, she demonstrated that environmental care and human development can go hand in hand. Planting trees created jobs for women, restored farmlands, and improved living conditions while also protecting nature. Madai's idea of sustainable development was both practical and moral. It called for a balance between human needs and nature's limits. She wanted the world to realize that sustainable progress requires responsibility, compassion, and respect for life in all its forms. 10th question: what role did Wangari Maathai assign to individuals and communities in addressing environmental challenges? In her speech, Wangari Maathai highlighted that individuals and communities have the power to bring great environmental change. She urged ordinary people not to wait for governments or big organizations to act, but to start with small steps like planting a single tree. Her Green Belt movement began with just a few women planting trees in their villages, and it grew into a powerful national and global movement. Madai showed that community action can heal the land, empower people, and restore dignity. She believed that when individuals take responsibility for protecting nature, they also strengthen democracy and peace. Madai connected environmental care with civic participation and moral courage. She herself faced arrest and threats for standing against deforestation and corruption. Yet she never gave up, proving that one person's action can inspire thousands. Her message was simple but powerful. Each person has the ability to make a difference, and together communities can protect the planet for future generations. നെക്സ്റ്റ് essay question ആണ് നോക്കാം. Women are often the first to become aware of environmental damage, says Wangari Maathai. What is your opinion? Wangari Maathai's observation that women are often the first to become aware of environmental damage reflects a deep understanding of the connection between gender, environment, and daily survival. In many developing countries, particularly in Africa and Asia, women are directly dependent on the natural environment for their families' basic needs, such as water, firewood, food, and shelter. When the environment begins to degrade, it is the women who feel its impact first and most severely. For instance, when forests are destroyed, women must walk long distance to collect firewood or fetch water, consuming much of their time and energy. Deforestation also causes soil erosion and drought, reducing agricultural productivity, which affects food supply, a responsibility that primarily falls on women. This makes them the earliest observers of environmental imbalance. Their daily struggles make them more sensitive to ecological changes than policy makers or distant authorities. Wangari Maathai's Green Belt movement in Kenya is a perfect example of this awareness turned into action. She mobilized thousands of rural women to plant trees as a means of restoring degraded land, conserving water, and improving food security. This simple activity not only revived the environment but also empowered women socially and economically. It gave them a voice in their communities and taught them the importance of unity, leadership, and civic responsibility. Madai's statement also carries a symbolic meaning. It highlights women as agents of change rather than mere victims of environmental degradation. By involving women in environmental restoration, she showed that sustainable development requires gender equality and participation. Women's knowledge of traditional farming, water conservation, and local ecology is invaluable in addressing global environmental challenges. In conclusion, Madai's idea reminds us that environmental protection and women's empowerment go hand in hand. When women are educated, empowered, and included in decision making, they become powerful leaders of conservation and peace. Their awareness, compassion, and resilience are essential for building a sustainable and equitable future for all. Next, last question ആണ് Wangari Maathai's Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech focuses on the urgent need for environmental protection and its connection to global peace. Write an essay explaining how her message advocates for a sustainable future, addressing the broader issues of democracy, human rights, and the welfare of future generations. Wangari Maathai's Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech is one of the most inspiring messages connecting environmental protection, peace, and human progress. She emphasized that the crisis of deforestation, desertification, and environmental degradation is not just an ecological issue but also a social, political, and moral one. For Maathai, protecting the environment was a pathway to achieving peace, democracy, and respect for human rights. In her speech, she explained how environmental destruction leads to poverty, inequality, and conflict. When forests are cleared and rivers dry up, communities lose their sources of food, water, and livelihood. This scarcity leads to competition and tension between groups, which can erupt into violence. Hence, restoring and protecting nature is essential for ensuring social harmony and lasting peace. Madai believed that environmental conservation is a form of peace building, one that nurtures life, justice, and cooperation. Through her Green Belt movement, started in 1977, Madai inspired ordinary people, especially rural women, to plant trees. Every tree planted symbolizes hope, self reliance, and a commitment to the future. The movement not only rejuvenated the environment but also promoted women's empowerment, community solidarity, and democratic participation. It encouraged people to speak out against corruption and poor governance that exploited natural resources. Madai also stressed the importance of democracy and good governance in protecting the environment. She argued that when citizens are denied freedom of expression and participation, they cannot hold leaders accountable for environmental destruction. She herself faced arrest and threats for standing up against illegal land grabbing and deforestation in Kenya. Her courage proved that political freedom and environmental protection are interconnected. Another major theme in her speech is the welfare of future generations. Madai warned that the Earth's resources are not infinite and that humanity has a moral duty to protect them for those yet to come. She urged nations to adopt sustainable practices to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet theirs. Her message aligns with the broader principles of sustainable development, combining ecological care with economic justice and human dignity. Furthermore, Madai linked environmental protection with human rights. She emphasized that every person has the right to a clean and healthy environment, just as they have the right to food, water, and shelter. She saw the denial of these rights as a form of injustice that threatens peace. Therefore, she called for a global transformation of values, one that recognizes the interdependence between people, nature, and peace. In conclusion, Wangari Maathai's Nobel Peace Prize speech is not only an environmental message but a vision for a better world. She showed that planting trees could restore ecosystems, empower women, strengthen democracy, and bring peace to divided societies. Her words remind humanity that caring for the planet is not merely a choice but a responsibility to protect life, uphold justice, and secure the future of generations to come. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മളെ വീഡിയോ ഇവിടെ അവസാനിക്കുകയാണ്. താങ്ക്സ് ഫോർ വാച്ചിങ്. സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ഫോർ മോർ.